Hey, Dr. Schlegel. This week on my Noticing Journal, I wanted to talk about my experience today with meeting David Maslanka. He did a lot of stuff that reminded me of what you're trying to teach us, and how it all started was someone asked today, what were some good tips on how to write music? And well, backstory on David Maslanka for me is I love him. He is always been one of my most favorite composers. So I got really excited when I found out he was going to be there today, and when they were like, "Yeah, he's here," and I actually realized he was right behind me, and I like whipped around, had a big smile on my face, had that deer in the headlights look. So I was like, "Hi," and so got really excited. So I just ate up everything he had to say. Um, but he started talking about noticing things. Is exactly what you're talking about. Um, he went into some other stuff like going into your subconscious and kind of finding your dream space. But what he did that kind of ties into what you're talking about a lot is he just had us. Well, we were sitting in Bennett, and he just was like, "Okay, let's notice this room." He had us look at the walls, what color the walls were, all the different colors in the walls, this kind of rough stucco on the walls. And the really cool part for me was when we were done noticing that, he's like, "Okay, let's all just look at a 1 square foot part of the floor." And, I sat there and I looked. We took about a minute, minute and a half. Um, and I looked. And I ended up focusing on one specific board right in front of me. And I noticed the things like there weren't necessarily concentric rings, which I mean you wouldn't get if you were taking one swift slice of the of a tree, you know. So it was kind of interesting to me. Um, I looked. There was all this pitting on the floor. There's scratches in the floor. Um, there like and just the irregular lines that went into the floor. And I started thinking about nature. And for some strange reason, I started thinking about Winnie the Pooh. I don't know why. That's not what I told him when he asked, because he actually asked me what I thought, and I was so excited. But I sat there and I told him, I was like, it kind of made me think of the journey, of this tree from a small seed into a sapling, into a young tree, into the tree that eventually got cut down and made its way on through production and onto our floor. And then I started thinking, how long has that been there? And then I started, like, because I know that building's been there since like 1910 or something. And I'm sure the floor's gotten redone every so often. So I'm going to say maybe that floor's been there since like the 80s, the 70s, maybe even as early as the 90s, or as late as the 90s. And how much great music has been played on those boards. And if boards could talk. If that music hall could talk, what the stories it would say. And it just basically kind of gave me it kind of gave me a legacy feeling in my mind. And a lot of this I'm kind of now realizing right now. um I don't know. That was basically my takeaway from today. It was really cool. I got a picture with him. But yeah. To recap on the project a little bit, um we did, the Bach I'm Worth It. And let's see, what did I notice from that? We really were, my group, I'll be honest, the few of us that actually showed up to practice, because there were a few of us that did not, barring, Maggie who was sick, um, we really worked good together. We just kind of sat and jammed for a little while, and that's how we got Bach I'm Worth It. Um, we just sat and we laughed. I didn't do this assignment, I'm sorry. So that's why I'm recapping on this now. We really did work good together, and I noticed, just the collaborate. I hate when my screen goes blank. There we go. I noticed the collaboration with us. You know, we all brought, the four of us that work together, we all brought something to the table, and we just had a good time jamming. It was really cool. I mean, we didn't come up with, you know, maybe our your music ed major or something like that. Was a cool, that was a good piece. But you know, we just kind of jammed, and I really felt like that was a lot, like that brought out a lot in us. Like John, he got to do his drum thing, even if it like I got to be weird on a bassoon. Um, you know, Brittany showed her serious side, which I mean, she kind of shows a lot, but it was a very beautiful serious side to her. And I'm sorry, I forgot the saxophone player's name. I think it was Matthew or Michael or something, but he's cool. And he kind of brought into the play the Bach. He was kind of the brainchild of the Bach. And so yeah, we just kind of melded. It was really nice. So I think that's all I've got to say for this week. I'll talk to you later. Bye.